Hey everybody, welcome back to the Wolf Pit with another episode of What Are We Eating? If you, the people, remember not too long ago, I made Mrs. Wolf Pit and I a Dollar Tree breakfast, which was sausage gravy and biscuits, along with fried and scrambled eggs, which I thought was an amazing deal, a very delicious meal for $4. I mean, where else can you get a homemade and delicious breakfast for $2 a person? But during my last visit to my own personal adult playground, the Dollar Tree, I found a way to make a bigger breakfast for 6 more people for only $1 more. So in this video, we're going to make a breakfast all in one skillet for up to 8 people for only $5. If you're doing the math, that's 63 cents per breakfast. So it's not only a really inexpensive breakfast, but since everything's made in one skillet, it's an easy breakfast to clean up after. So it's a win-win-win situation. So let's get started. Here's everything you need to make today's breakfast. This 6-pack of hash brown patties, which is a product of India. Normally, that would really bother me, because we do have a state called Idaho that's famous for potatoes, so why do we need hash brown patties from India? And although it does kind of bother me, it doesn't really bother me, because I've had several things from the Dollar Tree that were products of India, and every one of them has been very good. As a matter of fact, the very first 10 out of 10 score I gave was for the Chef Ernesto's vegetable patties, which were a product of India. Next, we have a 7-ounce box of Farmer John classic pork sausage links. Then we have a 10-ounce can of mild rotel, which is diced tomatoes and chilies. Then we have a dozen of Hillendale Farms medium eggs. Then we have an 8-ounce bag of Sunny Acres Mexican blend shreds, which is not really cheese, it's a pasteurized processed topping, so that should be interesting. I don't think I've ever used this kind of imitation cheese, but I've heard a lot of people say it doesn't really melt well, so we're going to find out. The first thing we need to do is cut up our 8 links of Farmer John's pork sausage links. And you just want to cut them up into little bite-sized pieces. Then add the sausage pieces to a large skillet over medium-high heat. Then spread the sausage out into a nice even layer, and then let it sit there for a few minutes until it starts to brown. While our sausage is browning, let's look at the hash brown patties. And they definitely don't look like the same hash browns from McDonald's, like I was hoping for and expecting. Because if you get the hash browns from McDonald's and they're fresh, they're pretty darn tasty. They actually look a little bit chunky, which is not a bad thing. So after we inspected them, they got cut up into little bite-sized pieces. Now set the hash brown potatoes aside, and let's get back to frying the sausage. And after frying for 5 minutes, our sausage is cooked through. Now remove the sausage, but save the sausage grease. With the skillet still on medium-high, add the cut-up hash brown patties to the sausage grease. Spread them out into an even layer, and let them sit there for about 3 to 4 minutes. After 3 to 4 minutes, give them a flip, and then season them with salt and pepper. And a little bit of Dollar Tree garlic powder that I already had here from a previous cook. Along with some Dollar Tree chopped onions that I also had from a previous cook. You can have hash browns or home fries without onions and garlic. And if you happen to have other seasonings around that you want to add, go ahead. Add whatever you like or leave out whatever you don't like. And then continue flipping the potatoes every few minutes until they're nice and crispy and golden brown. And then of course taste one and see how it tastes. And if you need to add more seasonings, now's the time to do it. And just in case you're wondering, the potatoes were really good. Crispy on the outside and soft and creamy on the inside. A little bit different than a normal hash brown patty we're used to, but in a good way. Once the potatoes are seasoned the way you like and they're golden brown and crispy, add the sausage back in. and then give it a good mix. Next, add the very well drained can of Rotel. And I started off by adding half of it first, and then we gave it a mix. And realized we needed more, so I added the rest of the can. And then we continued to mix it until everything was well incorporated. Then we turned the heat off and added our 1 dozen of well-beaten eggs. Followed by a handful of our pasteurized processed Mexican blend shreds. Then give it a good final mixing. And there you have it, our Dollar Tree $5 breakfast that'll feed 8. Doesn't that look great? And if you believe it's really done, stop being so gullible. I try and I try and I try to keep you, the people, on your toes so nobody takes advantage of you. So once everything's smoothed out into a nice even layer, add another handful of our Mexican blend pasteurized processed shreds. Once you've added as much of the fake cheese as you want, place the skillet into a preheated 350-degree oven for 10 to 15 minutes or until the eggs set up and hopefully the cheese is melted. While our $5 Dollar Tree frittata is baking away, head on over and follow me on Instagram if you want to see foods I cook and eat and other random things that I do that I don't record, and you might even get a sneak peek at an upcoming video. After baking for a total of 12 minutes, our eggs are set up nicely and some of the cheese melted. Not all of it. Now it's time to cut up our $5 Dollar Tree frittata. That's kind of a catchy name. And you cut it just like you would a pizza. Now if you have really big eaters, and I mean really big eaters, only cut the frittata into 4 pieces. But if you have normal people, still with a hearty appetite, cut it in 8 pieces. And that kind of sounded like I was calling big eaters abnormal, but I didn't mean it that way. I made the mistake of serving myself a big piece, and I couldn't finish it all. So we're going to pull out 1 small piece and 1 big piece. So here's the finished $5 Dollar Tree frittata with sausage, potatoes, Rotel, eggs, and onions. Everything in this frittata turned out absolutely perfect. Well, the cheese was almost an exception. The cheese didn't really melt, and it didn't really bother me though, but the cheese did get a little bit crunchy on the top, which added a really nice texture to the frittata. But everything from the sausage, the potatoes, the Rotel and eggs, everything was really good. Probably as good if I would have made it from similar items that cost more from a normal grocery store. And I would absolutely make this again with the same ingredients, and after I turned the camera off, I topped the frittata with some hot sauce also from the Dollar Tree. And if your Dollar Tree sells frozen peppers and onions, or jars of pickled jalapenos, you could add those for even more flavor. But my Dollar Tree didn't have either. So this shows, just because it's $1 and it's at the Dollar Tree, if you use a little bit of your imagination and spend a little bit of time, you can actually make a decent meal from the food at the Dollar Tree without it being detrimental to your health. Thank you all very much for watching. Please don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, subscribe, and share it with your family and friends, and I'll see you soon.